Hello, that is the brand new Hyundai Tucson. Now if that name sounds familiar, that's because it is. It used to be called the Tucson, and then it was called the iX35, and now it's called the Tucson again. But let's just take a moment to appreciate how good looking this car is. I think Hyundai have absolutely nailed the design. But does it have the clout to match the shout? Or the go to match the you know what I mean? On the move, and what's immediately impressive is how quiet it is in here. Not much noise at all is making it from the outside world or from the engine into the cabin. And it's really well put together. There's an incredibly solid feel, and it all combines to make this new Tucson feel very premium. The Tucson comes in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, but unless you tackle slippery surfaces often like gravel roads, I wouldn't spend the money on the all-wheel drive version. It's an extra 40,000 Rand over this version. For me, this is the sweet spot in the range. 1.6 litre turbo motor, 6-speed manual gearbox, 419,000 Rand. I heard the phrase boring but bulletproof recently, and I think that's apt in describing the interior of the Tucson. There's nothing wrong with it, but it isn't very exciting. Nothing sort of leaps out at you, but it does feel very well put together. Everything feels screwed together really, really well. And there are lots of features as standard: cruise control, Bluetooth, aux jack, USB, and there's this neat little reverse camera which appears in your rear view mirror when you select reverse gear. I think what's really impressed me most about the Tucson is ride quality. And that's such a difficult thing to describe, and it's exceptionally difficult to show on camera. But there's a real premiumness to this that feels expensive. It feels like it's been made to be a luxury car. And I like that in this segment. I like that the Tucson feels like that. Right, boot space, very important and often very misunderstood. And I think that's because car journalists and car manufacturers quote boot space in litres. I don't really think that means anything. So I would like to propose a new standard unit of measurement. It's called the wooden clothes horse unit. Now, I'm almost certain that everybody had one of these in their homes when they were growing up. It's almost like the banks give you one when you apply for a home loan. So we're going to use this to measure the boot of the Tucson. Right, here we go. Okay, as you can see, it's about 1 1/3 clothes horse wide and about 3 clothes horses tall. So that's with the seats in place. Now, what if you fold the seats down? That's why people buy SUVs. They offer lots of space. The annoying thing with the Tucson is you can't just flick the seats down from here. There's no buttons or levers. You have to go around to the doors and flick a lever on the side of the seat. One there and one there. Right, now the ultimate test. Can the Tucson swallow the wooden clothes horse in its extended state? Here we go. Not going in that way. Oh, this is looking good. And it's in. We can confidently say that the Tucson's boot is at least 1 extended wooden clothes horse unit big. That engine up front is the same 1.6 litre turbo which you'll find in the Hyundai Veloster, which is a car that we don't like very much. But it was mostly spoiled by its gearbox, which has been improved. So if you order the double clutch gearbox in the Tucson, it should perform a lot better. At the moment, there's only one other petrol in the range, a 2 litre 4-cylinder with no turbo. There's no diesel yet. It's because the fuel in our country is just not up to the standards of Europe. So Hyundai is testing one at the moment as we speak. But it's a pity because I tested the 1.7 litre turbo diesel in the last iX35 and I thought it was a fantastic engine, very powerful and very, very efficient. Taking a look at the range available, and the starting price of $359,900 will get you that 2 litre 4-cylinder, which we wouldn't recommend if you live on the Highveld. It's not going to perform as well as its turbocharged siblings. So for $419,000, you can have this 1.6 litre turbo manual. It's called the Executive Edition and it's quite well spec'd. It's got a lot of features as standard. But at 419,000 Rand, that's quite a bit more than its rivals. As a standalone product, the Hyundai Tucson is a very good car, but it plays in a market where there's some really stiff competition. Starting with the Ford Kuga, you can get a 1.5 turbo Trend for $403,900. That's about 16,000 Rand cheaper than the Hyundai. And it also adds things like park distance control and keyless start, but you only get a 4-year warranty compared to the Hyundai's 7-year warranty. And then there is the Nissan Qashqai. You can get the 1.6 turbo Acenta model for 379,000 Rand. That's about 40,000 Rand less than the Hyundai Tucson. It also has an impressive 6-year warranty. All the cars are similarly spec'd, so it does look like the Nissan Qashqai is the best value for money. But in the style stakes, I really do think the Tucson has the advantage.